What role does God have in your life? And do you think that everybody needs a relationship with God to some capacity, or could some exist without a relationship with God?
Everybody has a God. Okay, my God from 14 years old to 25 was women. They were my God. Okay, it was everything I wanted. I couldn't get enough of it. I wanted all of them. I wanted every ethnicity, every background, in every place, in every club. I wanted them all, okay? Some kids, their God is video games. Some people, their God is food. Some people, their God is the amount of likes they get on social media. Everybody has a God. So there's no such thing as, you look at these people who believe in God, they need God, they're weak, that's what they are. No, look at you, who your God is. Your God is porn. Your God is women. Your God is money. Your God is, everybody has, so there's no such thing as I have a God, but you don't have a God. You have a God as well. I said we have a different God. So let's set that part aside about who has a God and who doesn't have a God. For me, my entire life, I had a big conflict with the man upstairs because, when you're living in Iran and your mom and dad have taped the windows, because when the explosion of a bomb comes, you don't want the window you just want it to fall and it doesn't hurt the kids. And my bed is right underneath 7-8 windows in Khiyaban Hojat in Iran. Street name is Hojat, and we're right there. That's not a good environment to be raised in. You're going outside, you're seeing holes in the ground in the place you used to play right across the street. You're hearing this whistling sound, and your parents get divorced twice in 20 years. They get married, your sister is born, they get divorced, then they get remarried, then you're born, then they get a divorce. And the visual that I had as a kid, when every night on the 4th floor, my dad would walk up at 8:30 and I would see his head, first step, boom, boom. I knew my dad is here. I'd run up to the door, open it up, give him a hug. The last time I experienced that, I was 10 years old. Boom, gone. I don't see that head climbing at 8:30 anymore when I come home from work. It was the best moment of my day. That's the last time that happened. The only vacation I ever took as a family with my mom and dad, we went to a city called Esfahan. And Esfahan is like an old city with a lot of different things. There's a song by a man named Moeen. He sings a song called Delam Mikhad Be Esfahan Bargardam. I'll sit there in my backyard and I'll listen to that song for 2 hours straight. He's saying Delam Mikhad Be Esfahan Bargardam. My heart wants to return to Esfahan, okay? My heart wants to return to Esfahan because my entire family was together. It was me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. Okay. So then you go to Germany at a refugee camp for 2 years. There's no father figure. You don't know what to do. You're experiencing bullying, fighting out there, fighting with Afghanis, Pakistanis, Germans, all these other people from different ethnicities. Like, who are you from Iran? You're in our country here right now. That's exactly why Germany is being ruined, because they're letting too many of you here. And maybe they were partly right. Why are we coming in your homeland? We're dealing with our own mess, and then eventually we'll make it to the States. And I go to the army and I'm like, don't even talk to me about God or anything. And then eventually, I realized with a couple moments, a man gave me a Bible when I was in the army. And he said, you need this Bible more than I do. His parents gave him that Bible December 24th, 1974. I have the Bible till today in my office. So I don't know, man. I like Hafiz. I like Rumi, these famous poets from Iran. And Rumi had a poet, I'll butcher it, but you can kind of see how he says where, God uses human beings as a flute to sing through, which means in a way God talks to you and I through people. And then one day a friend of mine who was a tough guy in LA, we went to school together. Him and I both had a 1.8 GPA. And neither one of us were going to do anything. So when we went to college and we're at Glendale Community College, me and Armand were the ones that told you you're an idiot if you go to class. We would make fun of you. We were those friends. We'd be like, look at these idiots. They're going to class. What are you going to do going to class, man? Who cares about a college degree? Stay here. Let's play spades. Let's play hoax. Stay for another hour. And we would influence kids to drop out of their class. That was us, okay? So I go to the army. He does what he does. This is the same guy that one time punched a guy in the face with a brass knuckles. He punched the guy in the face, breaks the guy's jaw. I was telling the story to you guys. He breaks the guy's jaw. The guy can't eat. He's eating out of a straw for 30 days, and one day he tells the story to me. The father comes to his house. He knocks on the door, opens the door. The father's looking at him, saying, I'm not here to do anything to you. I'm only here for you to see the pain of a father going through for what you did to my son. And the dad is crying. He says, I don't ever want you to feel the pain I'm feeling right now when I watch my son jaw. I can't talk to my son. I'm in pain. And you brought that pain to my son. He says, that day messed me up, right? Guilt, all this stuff. Anyways, I go to the Army, I come back 24 years old, and I go to Rafi's place, and I said, so how you doing? He says, well, Jesus has changed my life. I'm like, I'm thinking he's joking with me. He says, no, I'm telling you. I said, come on, man, what are you talking about? You? Yeah. Stop it. You're pulling a prank, because we were both pranksters, big pranksters. He said, no, I'm telling you, you got to come to Bible study with me. So I go to Bible study with him Friday night in Paznas with this guy named Mano, and we would sit there from 6 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning. We're debating, and I'm just trying to debate. Anyways, eventually, I make a decision. I become baptized January, I think it's 21st of 2004, and I realized I don't want to live my life alone. I'm not alone right now. I'm around you guys. When you're together, you're around each other, you're around your girl, you're not alone, right? But you're going to be alone. Who do you talk to when you're alone? I want a relationship with God when I'm alone. Because if my vision is big of what I want to do in my life, for me to think I can do it by myself, that is so arrogant, and it's so much pressure on an individual when things don't go your way. Sometimes you need to just say, look, man, I'm going to pray like it's up to you, but I'm going to work like it's up to me. There's a man named Greg that told me this 20 years ago, and there's so much truth behind it, right? God has played an incredible role in my life. I'm a guy that's very honored and grateful for the life that he's given me. I look at my kids' faces and I tell Dylan, I say, Dylan, do you realize I can't imagine life never meeting you? He says, what do you mean, Daddy? I said, July of 2002, I'm at Thomas Mack Center with Lou Holtz speaking. I'm at that event with my girlfriend sitting to my right and a girl named Jennifer sitting to my left is my girlfriend, a girl sitting to my right, a girl named Jennifer. We're all the way in the back. Lou Holtz is speaking. I said, if I don't go to that event that day, the girl on my left ends up becoming an ex. The girl on my right, 5.5 years later, when we're both single, becomes my girlfriend. She's your mother. I would have never met you. I cannot imagine life never meeting you, Dylan, never meeting Patrick Tico, never meeting Senna, or never meeting Brooklyn. If that meeting and appointment never happens, I'm devastated. That meeting is scheduled by the man upstairs. So for me, if your vision's big, if you want to do something massive with your life, you almost need faith. But if you don't believe in a God, trust me, you have a God. You just don't know what it is yet.
Now, I'm curious because I've heard a lot of different answers to this, and I want to know your opinion on this.
Sure.
But why does God allow pain and suffering and evil to exist in this world?
You know, it's a good question you ask. It's a question, I ask for a big part of my life with the things that I saw. That's the free will part, man. It's our choice. He doesn't make us do anything. He leaves it to you and I on what we do and how we live our lives. If God was a micromanager, that would be a different story. He's not. He's like, look, here's what you've been given with. Here's the talents we're giving you. Here's the life. Go do good with it and find a way to be better to my guys, my people, my kids. And then you get to choose to make bad decisions. Okay, he doesn't. Now, if you go back and, some can say, well, that's when sin happened, Adam, Eve, Apple, that's when we started sinning. Prior to that, we were this, we were that. Great. We have a choice to make good decisions and bad decisions. That's not going away anytime soon. It's on us. It's not him. It's us doing it.
So what I heard also, I love that answer, but what I heard also that I really liked is that if he showed himself every single time evil occurred and let's say like cancer was given to a child or something like that, then it wouldn't be faith anymore. It would just be fact. It would be what is. And the power about belief is that it's faith. And you need to be able to believe in something that isn't fact because, like I said, it would just be what is.
Let me ask you a question. Was your father in your life growing up as a kid?
He was. Yeah.
Okay. How old were you the first time you got bullied?
I wasn't really bullied that much when I was a kid.
Did you ever get into a fist fight?
No.
Never?
Mm-mm. I was a pacifist. I would always run away, shy away from that.
Did you ever get bullied?
Yes.
How old were you the first time you got bullied?
Kindergarten, preschool. People call me Graham Cracker.
Graham Cracker.
Oh, well, I would get bullied. Yeah, I would get bullied like that. Sure. People, because I'm Jack and my last name's Selby, so they abbreviate Jack S. And Jack S, so they call me that.
So how often did your dad go and beat those guys up?
Never.
Why not? Why would he let that happen to his son?
Because they're minors.
I never told my parents.
But let me ask you another question. When you grew up, did a girl break your heart when you were 18 years old?
I had my heart broken a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your mom go and slap her in the face and say, how dare you break my son?
No.
Why wouldn't she do that? How dare she break your heart? Why would a mother let their son's heart be broken? What kind of a mother do you have? You know, is that a good mother? Of course it's a good mother. You have to go through it, okay? You got to go through it and pay the price. Have you done any wrongdoings? You ever got caught stealing? You ever got caught cheating on tests? You ever got caught doing something that was wrong? You ever got suspended? You ever got referrals? You ever got into, something you shouldn't have done? Yeah. And it hurts your parents, One day, my son is in soccer practice. This is my oldest. And he calls, my wife calls and says, babe, they just kicked him out of the camp. So what do you mean, babe? They kicked him out of the camp. So what are you talking about, babe? Why would they kick him out of the camp? He knocked the kid out. I said, what do you mean? He knocked the kid out in front of the coach. He punched him. The kid fell. He knocked him out. They say, he can't come back here anymore. So when I hear my son in the back screaming, Dad, you know I'm not afraid of the truth. You call me honest, Tico. You say I'm like Honest Abe. I'm not afraid of the truth. I said, what happened? He punched me first. I said, Tico, I'm telling you, he punched me first. I said, come on. I said, put the phone in his face. So he puts the phone in his face. I said, I'll go fight for you. But you better be telling me the truth. I'm telling you the truth. And you see the tears coming down. I said, no problem. All good. I called the owners. I said, hey, I heard you guys kicked my son out. We did. He punched a kid and he knocked him out, and parents were right there, and we can't come back. We can't have that kind of behavior. I said, do you guys have cameras there? We do. I want you to go watch the camera and see who hit who first. Okay. How soon can you get back to me? Give us an hour on practice sense. No problem. 2 hours, nobody calls. 3 hours, they call me. How you doing? Good. So what happened? Your son is right. He got punched first. Then he reacted and he knocked him out. We've asked the other kid to be gone for a week. Your son is welcome to come back, but I personally wanted to call you to apologize. I said, you didn't need to apologize to me. I don't care. You didn't offend me. You need to apologize to my son. I'm going to bring him in, and I need you to have a conversation with him. I take him to practice. His mom typically takes him. I take him to practice. I said, go ahead. The guy coaches a Venezuelan, phenomenal, classy guy. Gets on his knee and says, son, I just want to tell you, we messed up. You were in the right. We were in the wrong. Okay? And he goes in and he plays his game and he does his practice and all this stuff. It's a great practice that he has. But you can tell like somebody had his back, right? Now, in life, sometimes when you're right and somebody does something to you, it may take 5 years till you get your redemption, 10 years, 15 years till you get your redemption. But these are the types of moments where, at times we have to go through our mess. At times, God's going to use somebody to come and defend you. And at times, no one's going to show up. Sometimes you're like, I never told my parents. Sometimes, if you're not praying, talking to God, he doesn't know who to send. You ain't praying. Sometimes you just got to, the best way I started praying is the following. My first prayer was like this at 18 years old. I said, God, I don't believe you exist. I think it's fake. I think it's for people that are weak. But I'm going to pray. And if you're out there, great. I'll see what happened here with the prayer. If not, I'm just going to talk to you. That's how my prayers were. For 3 years, I prayed like that. So the exercising of praying, if somebody's watching this, you're doing it yourself. You don't have to tell people you're praying. Test it and see what happens. Go do enough for about 3-6 months, see what happens. And then test it for yourself. If it doesn't happen, it is what it is. But at least take the first step to start praying to a God you don't believe exists and see if he responds.
For those that don't know, I have a coffee company. It's called Bankroll Coffee, and our entire goal is to bring people the best quality coffee at the most affordable price. Of course, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that I don't often talk about, but part of the process of doing all of this was to find the best e-commerce platform to be able to sell from, and that, of course, is where I found our sponsor, Shopify. For those unaware, Shopify is home to the #1 checkout on the planet, with less carts going abandoned and more sales going.
For example, Shopify is a service called Shop Pay that lets customers save their email address, credit card, shipping, and billing information that, I kid you not, boost conversions up to 50%. And if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are, whether they're on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between.
All in all, nobody is selling better than Shopify. So if you're ready to upgrade your business and use the same checkout as Bankroll Coffee, get started today with your $1 trial period at shopify.com/ICH, all lowercase. Again, that's shopify.com/ICH, all lowercase, to upgrade your business today. Shopify.com/ICH with the link down below in the description.